so US Open. Ben Shelton v Francis Tiafoe. Ben Shelton leads by 2-1. On serve in the fourth set, 1-1. Francis Tiafoe service game, 30 love. Francis Tiafoe over wide serve. Ben Shelton backhand 10 depth. Backhand Francis Tiafoe. Ben Shelton strikes forehand to the right with depth, and Francis Tiafoe over forehand return to the right, a bit out. So 30-15. (40-15) on this Francis Tiafoe service game. Francis Tiafoe with a serve to centre of depth, and Ben Shelton strikes a forehand return to the right, but just out, and that service game is held. So 2-1 Francis Tiafoe on serve in the fourth set. Ben Shelton leads by 2-1 in this match. So on serve in the fourth set, 2-1 Francis Tiafoe on serve in the fourth set. Ben Shelton leads by 2-1. This match being played at the US Open. Ben Shelton service game. So Ben Shelton with a central depth, Francis Tiafoe backhand return. Ben Shelton backhand volley to the left, Francis Tiafoe forehand return, but then Ben Shelton at net, very short forehand volley to the right, and it's a winner. 15 love. Ben Shelton the lefty, Francis Tiafoe a righty. Ben Shelton with a serve central depth, Francis Tiafoe forehand block return, purple. Ben Shelton forehand, then to the net. But Francis Tiafoe a backhand return to the centre, and Ben Shelton with a forehand volley to the right, but a bit out, so 15 all. Ben Shelton with a serve to central depth, Francis Tiafoe backhand block turn, Ben Shelton with forehand to the right of depth, Francis Tiafoe backhand turn, backhand volley off open, Ben Shelton, and Francis Tiafoe with a forehand return, and Ben Shelton then with a volley, but just hits the net. So 15-30. So 15-30. on this Ben Shelton service game. Ben Shelton with a serve towards the centre of the box, but clips top of the net and bounces just out. So second serve for Ben Shelton on this point. Ben Shelton with a serve centre box depth France Tiafoe back on depth centre, and Ben Shelton strikes a forehand to the left and strikes a forehand winner. 30 all. 30 all. Ben Shelton striking a forehand winner to the left on the last point. Ben Shelton with a serve towards centre of the box, just hits the net, so second serve. Ben Shelton with a serve to the centre box, France Tiafoe forehand returns right, and Ben Shelton strikes the backhand to left, bit of depth, and then forehand. Second forehand, Francis Tiafoe with a return to the right, but just hits the net, so 40-30. Ben Shelton with a wide serve with depth, and Francis Tiafoe with a backhand return to the left, but just hits the net, and that service game is held 2-all on serve in the fourth set. Fifteen love on this Francis Tiafoe service game, 2-all on serve. In the fourth set, Ben Shelton leads by 2-1. Francis Tiafoe with a serve to the centre, just out, so second serve. Francis Tiafoe with a serve to the centre, a bit of depth, and then forehand of about 2 forehand shots each, but Ben Shelton's second forehand is just out, so 30 love. Francis Tiafoe with a wide serve, just out, so second serve for Francis Tiafoe on this point. Francis Tiafoe with a wide serve. Ben Shelton backhand block return, but the serve is just out and it's a double fault, so 30-15. Francis Tiafoe with a serve, clips the top of the net and bounces just over to the centre of the box, so let first serve for Francis Tiafoe. Francis Tiafoe with a serve, with a wide serve, just out, so second serve. Second serve for Francis Tiafoe on this point. Francis Tiafoe with a wide serve with depth, Ben Shelton forehand return, and Francis Tiafoe with forehand to the right, Ben Shelton backhand to centre, a bit of depth, and Francis Tiafoe forehand to the right, but just out, so 30 all. So 2-all on serve in the fourth set, 30 all. Francis Tiafoe with a serve. Francis Tiafoe with a wide serve with depth. Ben Shelton backhand return to left, just out. So 40-30 on this Francis Tiafoe service game. 2-all on serve in the fourth set. Ben Shelton leads by 2-1. Francis Tiafoe service game, and Francis Tiafoe with a serve to the centre of the box, just out. So second serve for Francis Tiafoe on this point. And Francis Tiafoe with a serve to the centre, and then backhand to backhand, and Ben Shelton strikes the forehand to the left, just out. So that service game is held 3-2 Francis Tiafoe on serve, and Ben Shelton leads by 2-1 on serve in the fourth set. So on serve in the fourth set, Ben Shelton service game. Ben Shelton with a serve to the centre of the box with depth, and Francis Tiafoe forehand return just hits the net. So 15-love on this Ben Shelton service game. Ben Shelton with a serve to the centre, and it's an ace. Good serve from Ben Shelton. So 30-love on this Ben Shelton service game. On serve in the fourth set. 15th ace of the match for Ben Shelton. 2 aces from serves for Francis Tiafoe. Ben Shelton with a serve, clips top of the net and bounces a bit out. So second serve for Ben Shelton on this point. And Ben Shelton with a serve to the centre, Francis Tiafoe forehand return. Ben Shelton strikes forehand to the right with depth. Francis Tiafoe forehand return, and Ben Shelton strikes forehand to the left, but just hits the net. So 30-15. So 30-15 on this Ben Shelton service game. Ben Shelton with a wide serve. Francis Tiafoe backhand return, and then backhand to backhand. Francis Tiafoe forehand to left, and Ben Shelton strikes a backhand to the left, but just out. So 30-all. So on serve in the fourth set, and 30-all on this Ben Shelton service game. Ben Shelton with a wide serve with depth. Francis Tiafoe strikes a forehand return to the right with depth, and Ben Shelton gets a forehand on the racket with a bit of a shot, but can't get the ball much further. So 30-40, and break point for Francis Tiafoe on this Ben Shelton service game. So 30-40 and break point for Francis Tiafoe on this Ben Shelton service game. Ben Shelton with a serve with depth from Francis Tiafoe over return, but just hits the net. So juice. Ben Shelton with a serve to central depth. Francis Tiafoe backhand return. Ben Shelton strikes the forehand to left with depth. Francis Tiafoe backhand return depth. And then Ben Shelton strikes the backhand to the right depth. Francis Tiafoe forehand return. Backhand slice. Ben Shelton to the right. Just out. So another break point for Francis Tiafoe on this Ben Shelton service game. So another break point for Francis Tiafoe. Ben Shelton with a serve to the centre of the box depth. Francis Tiafoe forehand return. Ben Shelton strikes the point to the right with depth. Francis Tiafoe forehand return. Backhand volley from Ben Shelton there with depth to left, and Francis Tiafoe backhand passing shot to the right on a return, but just hits the net. So deuce. So deuce on this Ben Shelton service game. On serve in the fourth set. Ben Shelton with a short angled wide serve, and it's an ace. A short angled wide serve ace from Ben Shelton. Ben Shelton with a serve centre box net front, Tiafoe for return, bit of depth to centre. And Ben Shelton strikes a forehand to the right, and it's a winner. And that service game is held. So 3-3 on serve in the fourth set. Francis Tiafoe service game. Francis Tiafoe with a wide serve with depth. Ben Shelton backhand return depth. Backhand return Francis Tiafoe. Ben Shelton for one's left, bit of depth, and Francis Tiafoe over backhand with depth to the left, but just out. So love 15 on this. Love 15 rather on this Francis Tiafoe service game. Francis Tiafoe with a serve to centre with depth, and Ben Shelton with a backhand return to the right, but a bit out. So 15 all on this Francis Tiafoe service game. Francis Tiafoe with a serve with a wide serve, just hits the net. So second serve for Francis Tiafoe on this point. Francis Tiafoe just won a point, so 30-15 on this Francis Tiafoe service game, and 3-3 on serve in the fourth set. Francis Tiafoe with a serve to central depth. Ben Shelton backhand block return to the centre, just out. So 40-15 on this Francis Tiafoe service game. Francis Tiafoe with a wide serve depth. Ben Shelton backhand return with depth to left. Francis Tiafoe returns, and Ben Shelton strikes front to the right with depth. And then to net. Francis Tiafoe returns, then backhand volley to the right by Ben Shelton, but then Francis Tiafoe strikes a forehand passing shot to the right, and it's a winner. Good forehand passing shot to the right by Francis Tiafoe. And Francis Tiafoe holds that service game 4-3. Francis Tiafoe on serve in the fourth set. So on serve. So on serve in the fourth set. 4-3 Francis Tiafoe on serve in the fourth set. Ben Shelton leads by 2-1 in this match. Ben Shelton with a Ben Shelton service game anyway. Ben Shelton with a serve towards, and Ben Shelton with a wide serve with depth Francis Tiafoe 4-10. Ben Shelton strikes one to the right with depth Francis Tiafoe 10, and Ben Shelton back on slice to the left with depth, and then Ben Shelton's net, and Francis Tiafoe hits a forehand return shot to left, but just hits the net. So 15-love on this Ben Shelton service game. Ben Shelton with a wide serve just out, so second serve for Ben Shelton on this point. And Ben Shelton with a serve to centre the box with depth. Francis Tiafoe back on 10. Ben Shelton strikes front to the right bit of depth, and Francis Tiafoe turns back on slice left with depth by Ben Shelton. And Francis Tiafoe hits a forehand to the right, but just hits the net. So 30-love on this Ben Shelton service game. Ben Shelton with a serve towards the centre of the box, just hits the net. So second serve for Ben Shelton on this point. And Ben Shelton, raise serve centre of the box, set Francis Tiafoe forehand turn, but Ben Shelton forehand to the left, Francis Tiafoe forehand turn, Ben Shelton backhand centre, Francis Tiafoe forehand to the right. And then after one shot each or so, backhand Ben Shelton, Francis Tiafoe strikes forehand to the left with depth, Ben Shelton turns, and Francis Tiafoe backhand slice to the right with depth, and Francis Tiafoe's net. But Ben Shelton hits a backhand passing shot to the left, and it's a winner. 40-love on this Ben Shelton service game. So Ben Shelton with a backhand passing shot on that last point winner. Ben Shelton with a serve centre wide the box, and Francis Tiafoe backhand turn with depth, and Ben Shelton forehand shot to the left, a bit out. So 40-15 on this Ben Shelton service game. Ben Shelton with a serve of a wide serve, and it's an ace for Ben Shelton, and that service game is held. So 4-all on serve in the fourth set. Francis Tiafoe service game. Francis Tiafoe with a serve with depth, and the return is just out. So 15-love on this Francis Tiafoe service game. Oh yeah, it's 4-all on serve in the fourth set. Francis Tiafoe serves central depth. Ben Shelton returns, and then Francis Tiafoe a bit further forward, strikes a forehand to the left, and it's a forehand winner. So 30-love. 30-love on this Francis Tiafoe service game on serve in the fourth set. Francis Tiafoe with a wide serve, and then Ben Shelton back up, and Francis Tiafoe over back and half volley to left, and Ben Shelton is onto it with a forehand slice shot to the right, but just out. So 40-love on this Francis Tiafoe service game on serve in the fourth set. Ben Shelton leads by 2-1. Francis Tiafoe, wide serve, just out. So second serve for Francis Tiafoe on this point. Francis Tiafoe with a serve, and Ben Shelton with backhand return just hits the net. So that service game is held. So 5-4 Francis Tiafoe on serve in the fourth set. On serve in the fourth set. On serve in the fourth set. 5-4 Francis Tiafoe on serve in the fourth set. Ben Shelton service game. So Ben Shelton service game. Ben Shelton with a serve to the centre of the box, just out. So second serve for Ben Shelton on this point. Ben Shelton with a serve towards centre of the box, but just hits the net, so it's a double fault. Love 15 on this Ben Shelton service game. On serve in the fourth set. Ben Shelton with a serve to the centre of the box, just out, so second serve for Ben Shelton on this point. And two set points. Two set points for Francis Tiafoe. 15-40 on this Ben Shelton service game. Two set points for Francis Tiafoe. Ben Shelton with a serve to the centre of the box with it. Francis Tiafoe backhand block turn and further forward just by net. Ben Shelton strikes a forehand to the right and it's a winner. So 30-40. One set point for Francis Tiafoe. 30-40 on this Ben Shelton service game. Ben Shelton service game. Set point Francis Tiafoe. 30-40. And Ben Shelton with a serve to the centre just hits the net. So second serve for Ben Shelton on this point. Ben Shelton with a serve to the centre of the box. Depth. Francis Tiafoe for one turn. Ben Shelton strikes forward to left with depth. Francis Tiafoe over backhand. Return shot to the right. Just hits the net. So deuce on this Ben Shelton service game. On serve in the fourth set. Ben Shelton leads by 2-1. Another set point. Another set point for Francis Tiafoe. So set point Francis Tiafoe on this Ben Shelton service game. So third set point for Francis Tiafoe on this Ben Shelton service game. Ben Shelton with a serve just out. So second serve for Ben Shelton on this point. Ben Shelton with a serve to the centre of depth. Francis Tiafoe forehand return to left with depth and then forehand to forehand. And Ben Shelton with a backhand to the right just out. And it's in a fifth set. 2 sets all. 6-4 Francis Tiafoe in the fourth set. Ben Shelton and Francis Tiafoe. 2 sets all. And it's into a fifth set. So into a fifth set. 2 sets all. Ben Shelton v Francis Tiafoe. 2 sets all. This match being played at the US Open, the 4th tennis Grand Slam of the season and the final one for the season out of the Grand Slam tournaments, and into a 5th and final set in this one. Francis Tiafoe with the first service game of the fifth and final set in this one. Francis Tiafoe with a serve to the centre with depth, and it's an ace. Ace from Francis Tiafoe, so 15-love. First point of the fifth and final set in this one. Francis Tiafoe with a serve to the centre of the box with depth, and Ben Shelton with a backhand return to the right, a bit out, so 30-love. Francis Tiafoe with a serve to the centre, just out, so second serve for Francis Tiafoe on this point. Francis Tiafoe wide to Ben Shelton back on turn. Francis Tiafoe forehand to right with depth. Ben Shelton forehand return. And Francis Tiafoe forehand to right. Ben Shelton with forehand to left and back to right with Francis Tiafoe a bit of depth. Ben Shelton with a forehand. Francis Tiafoe turns after one shot each or so. Ben Shelton last shot of the rally forehand to the right is just out. So 40-love on this Francis Tiafoe service game. Francis Tiafoe with a serve to the centre. Ben Shelton back on turns to the right. Francis Tiafoe over forehand. And then Ben Shelton forehand with depth. Francis Tiafoe returns after a shot each or so. Francis Tiafoe backhand to left with depth. Ben Shelton returns, and Francis Tiafoe with backhand to the right, stroke with depth. Ben Shelton returns, and then just by net, Francis Tiafoe a forehand volley to the left, and it's a winner. And that service game is held. So one serve at the start of the fifth and final set in this one. Ben Shelton service game on serve in the fifth and final set. Ben Shelton with a serve to the centre of the box, just out. So second serve for Ben Shelton on this point. Ben Shelton with a serve to the centre of depth, and that may be an ace. It's 15-love anyway to Ben Shelton on this Ben Shelton service game. Good serve by Ben Shelton with depth to the centre. Ben Shelton service game on serve in the fifth and final set. 2 sets all. Ben Shelton with a wide serve, just out. So second serve for Ben Shelton on this point. Ben Shelton with a serve for wide serve depth. Francis Tiafoe back on block turn a bit further forward. Ben Shelton strikes a forehand to the left, and it's a winner. So 30-love. Forehand winner from Ben Shelton on that last point. Forehand winner struck to the left. A bit further forward, near the net. Ben Shelton with a serve towards the centre of the box, just hits the net. So second serve for Ben Shelton on this point. Ben Shelton with a serve to the centre with depth. Francis Tiafoe back on turn with depth to the left, and then Ben Shelton with a forehand to left, just hits the net. So 30-15 on this Ben Shelton service game. Ben Shelton with a serve to the centre, and it's an ace, 40-15. Good serve by Ben Shelton. So on serve in the fifth and final set, 40-15 on this Ben Shelton service game. 2 sets all. Ben Shelton with a serve to the centre, just out. So second serve for Ben Shelton on this point. Ben Shelton with a serve to the centre of depth. Francis Tiafoe forehand turn, and Ben Shelton strikes a forehand to the left, and it's a winner. So forehand winner from Ben Shelton. That service game is held 1 game all on serve in the fifth and final set, and 2 sets all. Francis Tiafoe service game. 1-1 on serve in the fifth and final set. Francis Tiafoe with a serve centre box depth. Ben Shelton forehand turning a bit further forward. Francis Tiafoe strikes a forehand to left, but just out. So love 15 on this Francis Tiafoe service game. 2 sets all. 1-1 on serve in the fifth and final set. Francis Tiafoe service game. Love 15. Francis Tiafoe with a serve, with a wide serve and an ace. Ace by Francis Tiafoe. Good wide serve. So 15 all. 15 all on this Francis Tiafoe service game. On serve in the fifth and final set. Francis Tiafoe with a wide serve. Oh, serve to be retaken. Francis Tiafoe service game. 15 all. Francis Tiafoe service game. 1-1 on serve in the fifth and final set. Francis Tiafoe service game. Francis Tiafoe service game. Francis Tiafoe with a serve to centre, just out. So second serve for Francis Tiafoe on this point. Francis Tiafoe with a serve centre to wide the box. Ben Shelton backhand turns to left, and Francis Tiafoe turns. Ben Shelton strikes a backhand to right, bit of depth. Francis Tiafoe turns, and Ben Shelton forehand to left. Francis Tiafoe forehand to left. Ben Shelton forehand to right. Francis Tiafoe backhand to left, and Ben Shelton with forehand centre. And Francis Tiafoe strikes a backhand to right. Backhand turn by Ben Shelton. Forehand Francis Tiafoe, and Ben Shelton forehand. Backhand turn Francis Tiafoe. Backhand slice Ben Shelton. Ben Shelton down. Francis Tiafoe forehand. Volley from Ben Shelton to the left, and Francis Tiafoe with a forehand passing shot to the right, and it's just out. So 15-30 on this Francis Tiafoe service game. Francis Tiafoe service game. 15-30. Francis Tiafoe with a serve towards the centre of the box, just hits the net. So second serve for Francis Tiafoe on this point. Francis Tiafoe with a serve to centre with a bit of depth. Ben Shelton forehand turn. Francis Tiafoe forehand to right. Ben Shelton backhand turn. Francis Tiafoe forehand to right. Ben Shelton backhand slice. Francis Tiafoe forehand to right, and then Ben Shelton with a backhand to the left with depth. And Francis Tiafoe with a forehand return shot to the left after that, but it's a bit out. So 15-40 and 2 break points for Ben Shelton on this Francis Tiafoe service game at 1-0 in the fifth and final set. Francis Tiafoe with a serve to the centre, and it's an ace from Francis Tiafoe, so 30-40. So 1 break point for Ben Shelton. 30-40 on this Francis Tiafoe service game. 1-0 on serve in the fifth and final set. 2 sets all. Break point for Ben Shelton. Francis Tiafoe with a serve towards the centre of the box, just hits the net. So second serve for Francis Tiafoe on this point. And Francis Tiafoe with a serve to the centre of the box. Ben Shelton forehand returns right, and then backhand Francis Tiafoe, backhand slice Ben Shelton depth, backhand return Francis Tiafoe. Ben Shelton with a forehand struck to left, but a bit out. So juice on this Francis Tiafoe service game. 1-0 on serve in the fifth and final set. 2 sets all. Francis Tiafoe service game. Francis Tiafoe service game. Francis Tiafoe with a serve towards the centre of the box, just hits the net. So second serve for Francis Tiafoe on this point. Francis Tiafoe with a wide serve. Ben Shelton back on return. Short angle to the left, just out. So backhand return from Ben Shelton, just out. Francis Tiafoe was serve just out. So second serve for Francis Tiafoe on this point. 1-0 on serve in the fifth and final set. 2 sets all. Francis Tiafoe with a serve to the centre, a bit of depth from Ben Shelton, strikes a forehand return to left, but just out, and that service game is held 2-1 Francis Tiafoe on serve in the fifth and final set. So on serve in the fifth and final set. Ben Shelton service game. Ben Shelton serve with depth. Francis Tiafoe returns. Ben Shelton backhand. Then Francis Tiafoe strikes one to the right with depth. Ben Shelton returns, and Francis Tiafoe strikes a backhand to left with depth. Ben Shelton with a lob return. Then Francis Tiafoe shots to right. Ben Shelton with a forehand return to the right. Just hits the net. So love 15 on this Ben Shelton service game. On serve in the fifth and final set, and 2 sets all. Ben Shelton with a serve, a wide serve with depth. Francis Tiafoe returns, and Ben Shelton forehand drive volley just by net to the right, and it's a winner. So 15 all. Forehand drive volley winner from Ben Shelton. Ben Shelton with a Ben Shelton with a serve towards the centre, just hits the net. So second serve for Ben Shelton on this point. And Ben Shelton with a serve to the centre of the box. Francis Tiafoe 4-10. Ben Shelton strikes one to the right with depth. Francis Tiafoe 4-10. Ben Shelton strikes one bit of depth. Francis Tiafoe 4-10. Ben Shelton strikes backhand bit of depth. Backhand 10. Francis Tiafoe. Ben Shelton forehand. Francis Tiafoe forehand. And then Ben Shelton strikes a backhand to the right, but just hits the net. So 15-30 on this Ben Shelton service game in the fifth and final set. On serve in the fifth and final set. 2 sets all. Ben Shelton with a serve with a wide serve. Francis Tiafoe's backhand 10 clips off net and then open. And after a shot each or so, Ben Shelton backhand. Francis Tiafoe then with a forehand to the right, a bit out. So 30 all. Ben Shelton with a serve central depth. Francis Tiafoe backhand turn to the right with a bit of depth, and Ben Shelton with a forehand shot to the right just hits the net. So 30-40 and a break point for Francis Tiafoe. in the fifth and final set on this Ben Shelton service game. So break point Francis Tiafoe. And Ben Shelton with a serve to the centre, just out. So second serve for Ben Shelton on this point. And Ben Shelton with a serve centre, Francis Tiafoe, forehand return, backhand Ben Shelton, forehand return, Francis Tiafoe, Ben Shelton, backhand with depth, Francis Tiafoe returns, and Ben Shelton forehand, Francis Tiafoe, backhand return, bit of depth, backhand to backhand of two backhand shots each, and forehand Francis Tiafoe, Ben Shelton, backhand to the right, Francis Tiafoe, forehand return, backhand slice, Ben Shelton, Francis Tiafoe, forehand to the left, Francis Tiafoe next, Ben Shelton turns, Francis Tiafoe, backhand volley to the right, Ben Shelton turns, but then Francis Tiafoe with a bit of an overhead smash to the left, and it's a winner. And Francis Tiafoe leads in the fifth and final set with a break of serve. Longest rally with the point Francis Tiafoe won to lead the fifth and final set of a break of serve. Ben Shelton just won a point. So love 15 on this Francis Tiafoe service game. Francis Tiafoe leads 3-1 with a break serve in the fifth and final set. Francis Tiafoe with a serve towards centre of the box, clips top of the net and bounces just out. So second serve for Francis Tiafoe on this point. And Francis Tiafoe, they serve to the centre, Ben Shelton, prime turning, backhand Francis Tiafoe, backhand slice Ben Shelton. Then Francis Tiafoe forehand to the right, Ben Shelton with forehand to the right. Francis Tiafoe with forehand to the left, Ben Shelton, backhand bit of depth, backhand return Francis Tiafoe, backhand slice Ben Shelton, backhand Francis Tiafoe, Ben Shelton forehand, Francis Tiafoe, backhand to the left with a bit of depth, backhand slice Ben Shelton, and a bit further forward. Francis Tiafoe forehand to the right with a bit of depth, and Ben Shelton strikes a forehand passing shot to the right, but just out. So 15 all on this Francis Tiafoe service game. Francis Tiafoe leads the fifth and final set in this one with a breaker serve lead. So 30-15 on this Francis Tiafoe service game. And Francis Tiafoe with a serve towards the centre of the box, clips top of net and bounces a bit out. So second serve for Francis Tiafoe on this point. And Francis Tiafoe with a wide serve. Ben Shelton with a forehand return just hits the net. So 40-15 on this Francis Tiafoe service game. Francis Tiafoe with a serve just out. So second serve for Francis Tiafoe with a wide serve, and Ben Shelton with a backhand return to left just out. So that service game is held, and Francis Tiafoe maintains the breaker serve, leading the fifth and final set. 4-1 Francis Tiafoe, and Francis Tiafoe leads with a breaker serve in the fifth and final set. So Ben Shelton service game. France's Tiafoe leads with a breaker serve in the fifth and final set. Ben Shelton service game. So Ben Shelton service game. Ben Shelton with a serve to centre with depth. France Tiafoe backhand turn bit of depth. Ben Shelton forehand. France Tiafoe forehand to left and Ben Shelton forehand to right. Then backhand to backhand. France Tiafoe backhand to right. Then Ben Shelton forehand to the left, to the right rather, a bit of depth. France Tiafoe turns backhand slice Ben Shelton with depth. Then forehand to forehand and Ben Shelton with the last shot of the rally strikes a forehand winner. 15 love. 13 shots in that rally. Ben Shelton with a serve towards the centre of the box, just hits the net. So second serve for Ben Shelton on this point. And Ben Shelton with a serve centre France Tiafoe forehand return with depth to the centre, just out. So 30 love on this Ben Shelton service game. Ben Shelton with a serve towards centre of the box, just hits the net. So second serve for Ben Shelton on this point. Ben Shelton with a serve centre of the box, bit of depth. France Tiafoe forehand return. Ben Shelton forehand to the right with depth. France Tiafoe turns and Ben Shelton strikes forehand to the left with depth. France Tiafoe forehand return. Backhand to left with depth from Ben Shelton. France Tiafoe turns and backhand slice Ben Shelton to the centre, just out. So 30-15 on this Ben Shelton service game. Francis Tiafoe leads the fifth and final set of a breaker serve lead. Ben Shelton with a serve to the centre and it's an ace. Good serve by Ben Shelton. So 40-15. 133 miles per hour on that serve and ace with that serve on that last point for Ben Shelton. 20th ace match Ben Shelton from serves. 5 for France Tiafoe for serves this match. Ben Shelton with a serve towards white, just hits the net. So second serve for Ben Shelton on this point. Ben Shelton with a wide serve, and it's an ace for Ben Shelton. That service game is held. So 4-2 Francis Tiafoe, and Francis Tiafoe leads with a breaker serve in the fifth and final set. Francis Tiafoe service game. Francis Tiafoe just won a point, so 15 love. Francis Tiafoe leads the fifth and final set of a breaker serve. And Francis Tiafoe service game. 15 love. Francis Tiafoe with a wide serve with depth. Ben Shelton with a forehand return, a bit out, so 30 love. Serve with depth from Francis Tiafoe on that last point. Francis Tiafoe with a serve to the centre with depth. And Ben Shelton forehand returns left, just out. So 30 love on this Francis Tiafoe service game. Francis Tiafoe leads the fifth and final set of a breaker serve lead. And Francis Tiafoe with a serve to centre box depth. And then backhand to backhand. Backhand for Francis Tiafoe, struck with depth. Ben Shelton returns. But under there, Francis Tiafoe with an overhead smash to the left. And it's a winner. And Francis Tiafoe holds that service game. Francis Tiafoe leads with a breaker serve lead in the fifth and final set at 5-2. And it's 5-2 Francis Tiafoe rather with a breaker serve lead in the fifth and final set. Ben Shelton. Ben Shelton service game. Ben Shelton with a wide serve with depth. Francis Tiafoe forward turn. Ben Shelton strikes forward to left with depth. Francis Tiafoe turns and backhand from Ben Shelton. Clips net, but not quite over. So love 15. So love 15 on this Ben Shelton service game. Ben Shelton with a serve to the centre, and it's an ace from Ben Shelton. So 15 all. So 15 all, ace from Ben Shelton. Ben Shelton with a serve to the centre, and it's an ace. So 30-15. Ben Shelton with a wide serve with depth. Francis Tiafoe backhand return with depth just out. So 40-15. Ben Shelton with a wide serve just hits the net. So second serve for Ben Shelton on this point. And Ben Shelton with a serve to the centre of the box with depth, and then one shot each or so. And Francis Tiafoe, last shot of the rally, forehand struck to the right, and it's a winner. Forehand winner struck to the right with some depth by Francis Tiafoe on that last point. 40-30 on this Ben Shelton service game. Francis Tiafoe leads the fifth and final set of a breaker serve lead. Ben Shelton with a serve to the centre box with depth. Francis Tiafoe's forehand return to the right is a bit out, so that service game is held. So Francis Tiafoe service game. Ben Shelton has just won a point, so love 15. Francis Tiafoe service game. Francis Tiafoe leads the fifth and final set of a breaker serve lead. If Francis Tiafoe holds this service game, then Francis Tiafoe wins this match in 5 sets. Love 15 on this Francis Tiafoe service game. Francis Tiafoe with a serve sent to the box with depth. Ben Shelton backhand turn forehand struck to the left with depth, and Ben Shelton backhand turn to the right a bit out. So 15 all on this Francis Tiafoe service game. Francis Tiafoe with a serve to the centre with depth. Ben Shelton forehand return, and a bit of a forward. Francis Tiafoe strikes a forehand with depth to the right, and Ben Shelton gets a bit of forehand racket on it, but can't get the ball much further. So 30-15 on this Francis Tiafoe service game. Francis Tiafoe with a serve towards centre of the box, just hits the net. So second serve for Francis Tiafoe on this point. Francis Tiafoe, the wide serve, bit of depth. Ben Shelton forehand return. Francis Tiafoe strikes right to left with depth, and Ben Shelton backhand return. And out there, Francis Tiafoe with an overhead smash to the left. Ben Shelton returns, and then Francis Tiafoe with an overhead smash to the right, and it's just out. 30 all. Well, Ben Shelton returned that first overhead smash to the left. Wow. Just for... Oh, no, it's in. It's a winner. It's an overhead smash winner from Francis Tiafoe. 2 match points, 40-15. Francis Tiafoe over centre right side box left. Ben Shelton turns and Francis Tiafoe's backhand clips top of net and over. But Ben Shelton onto it with a forehand struck to the left just behind that, and it's a winner. 40-30. So match point Francis Tiafoe. Francis Tiafoe point play that, 2 overhead smashes, one to the left, and then next one to the right, a winner. And then Ben Shelton point after, a forehand winner to the left. Second match point, Francis Tiafoe. Francis Tiafoe over wide serve, depth Ben Shelton, forehand return, but depth Francis Tiafoe backhand to the left with depth Ben Shelton with a backhand return. And then Francis Tiafoe with a forehand short volley to the right, and it's a winner. And Francis Tiafoe wins in 5 sets. The Ben Shelton in quite the competitive match.